The third primary human need is to feel independent and powerful. Children who consistently engage in power struggles are searching for ways to fill that need. Feeling powerless, they want to have more control over their lives. Dr. William Adler, author of The Will to Power, claims that virtually every human interaction has within it elements of a power struggle. His observations ring true not only in regard to relationships between adults, but also in regard to relationships between teachers and the children in their classes. Teacher-child and parent-child power struggles are natural, normal, and appropriate as children pass through their natural developmental stages. As teachers, our role is to find safe, caring ways to help our children feel more powerful. Teachers can take some of the rough edges off these confrontations by communicating to children that we value and respect them, by listening to them, and by showing genuine interest in their thoughts and feelings. The simple act of listening, even to very young kids, shows respect for children and provides them with a sense of power. Another means of easing the power struggle is to remove all the unnecessary issues. In regard to classroom rules, it's important to distinguish the trivial things from that which is truly important. In one kindergarten class, a child was selected each day to be the class drinking fountain guard. The guard's job was to report anyone who took more than 5 sips out of the drinking fountain during class breaks. Too many rules, especially those of an arbitrary nature, tend to break down class morale and create confrontations where stifled children seek more power. A child with an unmet need for independence and freedom will seek power in one of 3 ways: through confrontation, through revenge, or through avoidance behavior. Each of these behaviors is a power play, and teachers can learn to identify each particular power play by examining how the child's behavior is making them feel. Confrontation. By far the most common expression of power seeking is when a child becomes confrontational. The teacher can recognize this power play when the child's behavior results in the teacher's feeling angry. When Miss Cantu had the children sit on mats in a circle, Rico rotated around and put his feet on his classmate's mat. She asked him to put his feet back on his own mat. Rico would comply for a few moments and then put his feet back on his neighbor's mat. Miss Cantu felt herself getting angry at the boy's combative, argumentative behavior. Rico was intentionally initiating a confrontation. When dealing with a confrontational child, teachers must refrain from allowing themselves to lose their temper, which automatically hands their emotional power over to the child. A good course of action is for the teacher to keep from becoming involved in the power struggle by offering the child an opportunity to engage in some mutual problem solving. Rico, please put your feet on your own mat, or you can turn your mat sideways. That way you can put your legs out as far to the side as you like. Which do you choose to do? Miss Cantu is offering Rico some choices. Mutual problem solving with the teacher and the child working together for a win-win solution is an effective means of allowing a student to feel that he has some power. Revenge. If an ongoing power struggle results in a child's feeling constantly defeated by a teacher that he considers to be unfair, he may then resort to revenge. Children who seek revenge are convinced that they are not lovable or worth caring about, so they exert a sort of perverse power through making others feel as bad as they do. Teachers can recognize this tactic if the student says something cruel that hurts their feelings. Mr. Hamilton was teaching the class their colors. He thought he was helping Celeste to gain confidence in her ability to name the basic colors by having her stand up and identify the colors on the flashcards. Celeste, however, didn't see it that way. She had had several confrontations with Mr. Hamilton recently, and she felt she was being singled out unfairly. She told Mr. Hamilton, "You are mean. I don't like you." Mr. Hamilton was stung by her words. This form of misbehavior presents a particularly difficult challenge. Teachers who have been hurt and angered by children are tempted to retaliate, thereby establishing a revenge cycle between themselves and their kids that is enormously destructive to their relationship. In order to help a vengeful child, we need to remember that the student's behavior stems from feelings of powerlessness and discouragement. Summoning up the maturity that is required of an adult, the teacher should remain calm and avoid the temptation to retaliate or punish. Mr. Hamilton's reply was to say, "Celeste, I'm sorry you feel that way. Let's talk about it. I want to know why you feel the way you do." The teacher should then listen and try to discover the cause of the child's pain and address it in a caring, empathetic manner. Above all, the teacher must continue to show goodwill and unconditional love and make every effort to reestablish a caring, nurturing relationship with the child. Avoidance behavior. When a child feels totally powerless and inadequate, he may simply give up and resort to avoidance behavior. Instead of doing things for himself, he will try to draw power from others by getting them to assist him. It's a common tactic of an attention deficit child. Having given up all expectations of ever succeeding, the child seeks to be excused from responsible behavior and attempts to keep others from expecting anything of him too. When Mr. Kwan asked Allison why she wasn't coloring her picture, Allison replied, "I can't color it. Please help me." Mr. Kwan said, "You and I colored a picture like that one yesterday. You can do it." Allison gave Mr. Kwan a pitiful look and said, "I can't color. I don't feel good. Please help me." Teachers can recognize when a child is engaging in avoidance behavior because of their own feelings of despair and pity regarding the child's plight. They too will feel like giving up or throwing up their hands over the child's behavior. Despite everyone's efforts, the kid remains incompetent and incapable. In helping a child who feels inadequate and exhibits avoidance behavior, teachers should avoid the temptation to do for the child. Instead, we can break a difficult task into smaller, doable pieces that the child can handle. Also, it's vital that we eliminate all criticism and focus instead on emphasizing the child's assets and strengths, encouraging any effort upon the part of the child to improve, no matter how insignificant that effort may appear to be. Through listening to children, eliminating all unnecessary elements from the power struggle, and encouraging their efforts, conflicts can be resolved in a manner that enables children to feel that they are valued and that they are important. As we treat children as little persons who deserve our respect, we will lessen the conflicts and empower them to experience the independence and freedom that every child needs and desires. And remember, the process begins with asking the question, what is the unmet need of this child? Address that unmet need, and the misbehavior will usually dissolve. Now let's take a look at the children's misbehavior chart. The power-seeking child and confrontation. What is the unmet need of this child? If a child's actions seem to say, "You can't make me, I won't do it," and you feel angry, "I'm in control here, kid," then you're probably dealing with a power-seeking child. And the teacher-child power struggle leads to confrontation. The child's unmet need is for power and independence. What can you do? Disengage from the power struggle. Listen to the child. Avoid having unnecessary rules. Offer choices between two good solutions. Now let's look at the child's misbehavior chart again, this time looking at a power-seeking child who is vengeful. What is the unmet need of this child? If a child's actions seem to say, "I hate you," "I can be as mean as you are," and you feel hurt, I want to retaliate and punish that kid, then you're probably dealing with a power-seeking child. The teacher always wins the power struggle, and the child seeks revenge. The child's unmet need is the need for independence and power. What can you do? Do not punish or hurt back. Listen to the child. Use empathy to discover the cause of the child's pain. Continue to show goodwill. Reestablish the relationship. And now let's look at the child's misbehavior chart one last time and take a look at the power-seeking child who utilizes avoidance behavior to get his way. What is the unmet need of this child? If a child's actions seem to say, "I am completely helpless. I can't do anything without your help," and you feel despair and pity, "I desperately want to help the poor child, but haven't a clue what to do about it," then you're probably dealing with a power-seeking child. The child feels totally helpless and defeated and seeks to draw power from others through avoidance behavior. The child's unmet need is for independence and power. What can you do? Arrange small successes. Avoid doing for the child. Instead of criticizing, emphasize the child's assets and strengths. Encourage any effort that the child makes to improve.